So welcome back to my YouTube channel, and this is Kasaligan Vlogs. And today we will talk about quartile, decile, and percentile. This is group data, and this is mathematics in the modern world. So quartiles for group data. So here is the formula. So QK is the quartile, LB is the lower boundaries, and K times N over 4 minus the less than cumulative frequencies before the quarter class over the frequency times the interval. This is how to find for the group data. So steps in finding the quartile, construct a cumulative frequency column in the table. So this is the less than cumulative frequency, starting with the lowest class and adding it successively to the next class for the frequencies. And determine the QK class. How to determine the QK class? So we have QK class. So these are the formula in finding the QK class. And next is identify Q1 class. If after defining or identifying the Q1 class, we could now be able to locate for our LB, less than cumulative frequency, the frequency, the I, which is the interval, and the N. Okay. So these are the steps in finding for the quartile. The next one is the deciles for group data. So somewhat like the same, but take note deciles and quartile is by quarter or by 4. So we have here Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. So by quarter divided by 4. Okay. In deciles, we have it by tenth. Okay, so we have here D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, D6, D7, D8, D9, and D10. So this is equal divided by 10. So the 100%, 100 divided by 10. So that is how to find for deciles. We have here DK is decile, population, lower boundaries of the decile class, the frequency of the decile class, and the cumulative frequency before the decile class. The I is the interval of the class interval. Somewhat like with the quartile, we have also the steps, almost the same steps, but we have here, okay, the determining factor, the determining for the deciles, the deciles for this part, because that is divided by 10. Okay, third quartile. So if we're going to have D4, so D4 is equal to 4n over 10. Okay, and so on. So first step is construct a cumulative frequency column in the table, determine the decay class, identify the decay class, and determine the values of LBCF, frequency I, and the number of respondents or the frequencies, the total frequencies. So we have here the percentile for group data. So in terms of percentiles, so we have here P1 to P100. So that is by percent. Okay, percentile for group data, PK is equal to LP plus KN over 100. The whole is divided by 100 parts minus the CF, the cumulative frequency before the percentile class, times over the frequency times the interval. So the difference here is this one in all percentile, decile, and quartiles. Okay, and the steps, same steps here, but we have here the determining way and how to find for the PK class. So you have if that is P1 n over 100, when P2 2n over 100, and so on to 59 99 over 99 n over 100. Then identify the decay class and determine the values of LBCF frequency. If we're going to find for P77, just have 77 and over 100. That's it. Okay, and determine the values of LBCF, and interval, and the frequency, the total number of frequencies. So the problem here determine the Q3, D7, P20, and 85 of the frequency distribution of ages 50 people taking travel and tours. So we have to take note of this one. We have D1 is equivalent to P10. D2 is P20 and D3 is P30 because this is by 10 and this is P10 is equivalent to D1. And also with this one, Q1 is equivalent to P25, Q2 is equal to P50, and Q3 is P75. So these are equivalent in forms, correspondence to. Okay, so what we're going to look into is we are going to find for Q3, D7, P20, and 85. So let's start with Q3. Okay, Q3. So the first step in finding the Q3, but the formula for Q3 is we have LB plus K, Kn over 4 minus the less than cumulative frequency over the frequency times the interval. Okay, so first step in finding the Q3 is we have here, first step, identify. So let's have the steps. Okay, here are the steps in finding the QK. So construct a melody frequency column in the table. Okay, cumulative frequency. To find for the cumulative frequency, we have 3. Added by this one, we have 8. 8 plus 9, we have 17. 17 plus 14, we have 31. Next is 42. We have 48 and 50. So these are now our less than cumulative frequency. Second step is determine our rank value. Okay. To find for the rank value, we have here Q3 is equal to, we have 3n, or n, 3n over 4. 3 times Rn is equal to 50 over 4. That is equal to 37.5. So we have to locate here 37.5. So since this is 31, but we are going to have as our Q3 here. So this class is our Q3. Okay. We will not make use of 31 because it's more than, because our determining factor here or rank value is 37.5. So we could be able to cater 42 as our less than cumulative frequency. So now we have here 37.5. So now we have already determined that in the class limits 54 to 62 would be our Q3 class. So next step is we're going to find for the LB. So what is the LB? So in this case, the LB is 53.5. Okay, next is our Kn over 4. That is equal to 37.5. Our less than cumulative frequency. What is our less than cumulative frequency? Our less than cumulative frequency is, what do you mean by this? We have, okay, before the Q3 class, before. So if that is before, we have here 31. So our CF is 31. Again, this is before, so therefore we have this one, 31, cumulative frequency. Next, we're going to look into the frequency. What is the frequency? So the frequency is, we have 11. So the frequency is 11. And what is the interval? The interval is 27 minus 18. We have 9. Okay, 9. Our n is equal to 50. And after that one, we have to substitute here the values given. So 53.5 plus what is our Kn? Our Kn over 4 is 37.5. Okay, 37.5 minus 31 over, okay, the frequency, which is 11, times the interval, which is 9. So by the use of calculator, if we're going to compute this one, we have 53.5 plus 37.5 minus 31 over 11. We have compute, we have 5.32. So 53.5, 5.32, we have 58.82. So this is our Q3, which is 58.32 here. So this is belongs to this interval, which is 58.82. Next, we're going to find for D7. Just going to solve here for D7. Our D7 is equal to LB plus, okay, RD. So we have here Kn over 10 minus CF over frequency times the interval. So to find for this one, we have here D7 is equal to 7 times, okay, 7 times, which is our 50. Same problem here, 50 over 10. Okay, we have here 7 times 50 over 10, that is equal to 35. Okay, 35. So we are going to locate 35 since this is 31. So let's have 42 again. So this is our D7 class. Same here. This is our D7 class. So Q3 and D7 is the same class. Since this is 35, so we have to cater 42, not 31. Okay. So next we are going to find the LB. So the LB, the same with this, we have 53.5. This Kn over 10, which is 35. The less than cumulative is 31 still. Okay, 31, check. And the frequency, what is the frequency? Which is 11. Okay, the frequency is 11. And the interval is 9. And n is equal to 50. So by the use of formula, we have to substitute, which is LB. What is our LB? 53.5 plus Kn, which is 35, minus 31 over the frequency, which is 11, times the interval of 9. So 53, to find for D7, our D7 is equal to 53. 35 minus 31. Okay, by the use of calculator. Okay, 35 minus 31 divide 11 times 9. We have 3.27. 3.27. So this one is 53.5 plus 3.27. Okay, 3.27. Our D7 here is 56.77. Okay, that is 56.77. So, okay. So next is P20. How to find for P20? Okay, let's have P20. Our P20 is equal to LB. We have LB plus, okay, Kn over 100 minus less than cumulative frequency over the frequency times the interval. So first step for P20 is equal to Kn over 100. So what is our K? Our K is equal to, okay, okay, okay. First, the problem P20. Our Kn is equal to 20 times, what is our N? Our N is 50 over 100. Okay, we're going to solve 20 times 50, 1000 divide 100, we have 10. So 10, okay, so 10. So we're going to locate here 10. So we are going to have this one, RP20. In this part, this is RP20, which is 17 in the less than cumulative frequency, not 8. So therefore, we have here our boundaries. So first is LB is, our LB is 35.5. Next, we have the Kn over 100, which is 10. And we have the next one is we're going to find the less than cumulative frequency. So the less than cumulative frequency next to it is 8. Okay, so 8. Next step is find the frequency. The frequency. The frequency is 9. Okay, the frequency is 9. Okay, 9. Next is find the interval and n. I is 9 and the n is 50. Okay. Our LB is 35.5 plus our Kn is 10 minus 8 over the frequency is 9 times the interval, which is 9. So we could easily cancel this one. Okay, so we have 35.5 plus 8, 10 minus 8, that is 2. So therefore, our P20 is equal to 37.5. So we're going to locate here. So this is between this class, which is 37.5. Next, we are going to find for P85. So what is the value for P85? Okay, so first step. Okay, first step is we're going to have P85. P85 is equal to LB plus Kn over 100 minus less than cumulative frequency over the frequency times the interval. So P85 by the use of Kn over 100, we have 85 times 50 over 100. Okay, so by the use of calculator, we have 85 times 50 divide 100. So we have 42.5. Okay, so 42.5. So we're going to locate here 42.5. So 42, this is 42.5. So let's have this one. The next, this is our P85. 63 to 71. Okay, 63 to 71. So that is our class. Okay, remember the frequency is 6 and the less than cumulative frequency is 42 here, and the class boundary is 62.5. So the frequency. Okay. So first is we have the LB. Our LB is, in the case of this one, we have 62.5. Okay. Next step is the KN. KN over 100, which is 42.5. Our CF, our less than cumulative frequency, since we choose, we have 42. This is correct. Let's check. Okay, check 42. Next, we have the frequency. What is the frequency? Which is 6. Next, we have the I and the N. I is 9, N is 50. Okay, let's solve. Let's solve. We have 42.5 plus, we have Kn is 42.5 minus 42 over the frequency, which is 6, times the interval, which is 9. So 42.5 plus, okay, calculate. Okay, 42.5 minus 42, that is 0.5 times 9 divide 6. We have 70.75. We have here 0.75. Okay, so let's compute it again to make it clear. We have 42.5 minus 42 divide 6 times 9. We have 0.75 plus 42.5. We have 43 point. Okay. By the way, we have not 42.62.5. This is 62.5. Here, the LB. 62.5. 62.5 plus 0.75. We have 63.25. So this is our P85. Our P85 is 63.25. Okay, that's all for the quartiles, deciles, and percentiles. So try solving this one at home. The frequency represents the cost in cents for utilities of states that supply much of their power. Find Q1, D5, and P35. So this is the given. So thank you so much for tuning to this Kasaligan vlogs, and I hope everyone you learn about percentiles, deciles, and quartiles. And please do not forget to subscribe, and please comment your answer below for checking up. Thank you and God bless everyone.